Hello there, friends. It's Jimmy Maverick. Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Maverick podcast. And today we are going to do a large league mock draft on Yahoo. It's going to be a 14-team league. I am picking 11th, and let me tell you what, it goes really good. So check it out. Here we go.
Listen up. It's time for the Fantasy Maverick podcast, starring the guy who's going to help you win that fantasy championship, Jimmy Maverick.
Hello there, friends. It's Jimmy Maverick. Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Maverick podcast, coming at you from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And we are going to do a mock draft today. We are going to do a large league mock draft. So it's going to be a 14-team, and I believe I am going at pick number 10 in a 14-team league. Now, we're going to use my app, My Perfect Fantasy Draft, to help us pick players. And what I like to say is my app works better and better the larger the league is. And the reason for that is because each pick becomes so much more important the larger the league is, and this is going to help us find the absolute best players at each and every point of the draft. So we're going to do a 10-round mock draft here, and it's getting set up, so I will be right back, and I'll show you how it works. All right, friends, so we are going to be picking from the 11th position in this 14-team league. It's going to be on Yahoo, and I got to say, Yahoo, you always got to take it with a grain of salt. Their auto-pick system is probably the worst that I've come across. I'm really kind of surprised because Yahoo has literally the best fantasy football app for your phone, but this, their drafting tool, they haven't updated the algorithm on this thing for like 10 years. So it's totally outdated. You can't ever rely on the ratings that they're giving you. So we're going to use my app, My Perfect Fantasy Draft. You're going to find this app at my website, fantasyfootballmaverick.com, and we're going to get it set up right now as we're waiting for this draft to start. So what you need to do, first of all, is you need to tell how does the league score points? And for Yahoo, really it's all half-point PPR as far as their mock draft tool works. You can't set it up for different point settings, although once you finally get into into an actual live draft, it will utilize the settings of your league in the calculations and such, but the order is always the same. They only have one list of players, which is unlike any other fantasy league fantasy system out there, which has a different list for PPR versus standard versus half point. So anyway, you got to live with it. Question 2, do you want to engage Jimmy's recommended player filters? I'm not going to engage it right now. I want to just see all the players on the board. And then do you want to enter draft mode? So in this case, yes, we want to do a 14-team league. And we are going to go from pick 11. So let's go ahead and enter draft mode. And like I said, the larger the league, the better this app works because, again, every pick is just so much more critical to your team. It's absolutely imperative that you are drafting the best player at each and every pick because the teams are so much thinner. So that's something to keep in mind here. Now, you can see here the first tab. This is the tab that represents each round of our draft. We're going to go through round 10 today. Top 14, this is round 1, so we're going to look here. And what you see on this list is this is a list of all the players between our current pick and our next pick. But instead of being sorted by draft position, it's sorted by what I call the Vork Score. The Vork stands for Value, Outlook, Reliability, and Consistency. It's these 4 columns right here. Based on how they score, they get points. Those points are added up. That gets you your Vork Score. So you can see here that it is recommending for the first round pick that we take either Nick Chubb, Chris Godwin, or Josh Jacobs. And I got to say, I like all those choices, but Chubb does offer the best value of all 3. So I'm inclined to take Chubb if he makes it to us. And you can see here it is loading up the draft, a minute 45 till it starts. And we are going to go ahead and look at, can I see the draft board? Here we go. There's the draft board. And we're going to utilize the queue to help us out with players. So I'm totally for right now going and getting these guys lined up. So let's get Nick Chubb, and then let's get who was the next? Chris Godwin and Josh Jacobs. Let's see here. So Chris Godwin. Let's go to wide receivers. Godwin's there. Running backs, Josh Jacobs. Where's Jacobs is right there. Okay, that looks good. You also saw here that Joe Mixon right here This little gun means he's a long shot to make it to us, less than a 50-50 shot. Also, Julio Jones is a long shot, but let's put him on the board anyway, because I want to see if they come this way. And one of the reasons why I like to use the Q is because it's going to help me know that a player is still on the board when we get to future rounds. So that's very important that there's a player that got forgotten about or nobody's taken yet for some reason. This is going to give us the heads up that, hey, you know what? They're still here. They're still on the board. You should take them instead. And it's nice that it's all consecutive too. So as we go to the second round, everything will be below these players. So these players will always be at the top of our queue list. Real important for fantasy football and keeping on top of stuff. And it really just helps us so you don't miss somebody. Sometimes, in the draft board, you get tunnel vision and you're just like so focused on getting this one player. You don't see that there's a better player that's still available on the board. So you can see that it started. So let's just jump over to the draft results. And it will probably be a very standard beginning. The top 4 that you always see. So it'll be Zeke, and then it'll be Kamara, and then probably Michael Thomas. But if not, Dalvin Cook. It's all very predictable at the very beginning of a draft. The thing about Yahoo drafts also is that so many people go to auto pick, and then the algorithm for the auto pick is just terrible. It'll take a defense in round 8. It'll take a kicker in round 9, which is just ridiculous. But also it'll take a second quarterback. It'll take a second tight end. These are players that you do not need to take seconds of on the draft board. But you can see that this guy already has abandoned his post, and he's going to go to auto pick. Oh no, he took his pick. Kamara, yep, and Derrick Henry. Oh, that's interesting. I thought it would be Dalvin Cook. But, I'm feeling good about our queue right now. And Chubb got an upgrade for me because, again, this team, the Browns, they are going to be a run-first team. They are going to look like what the Vikings looked like last year. So even though they got a lot of offensive firepower with Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry, I see they're going to be mostly on the ground. It's going to be Chubb and it's going to be Hunt. They're both good for fantasy, although Hunt is a little bit overvalued relative to his draft position right now. But I think Chubb is a good value, and Jacobs obviously has huge upside. So look at that. Joe Mixon came off, so he was one of our long shots to make it to us. That's to be expected. Look at this. All running backs so far except for Michael Thomas. That's interesting. And look, another running back. So, yeah, we definitely got to take our running back. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Chubb. But I'd be just as happy with Jacobs. But again, Chubb is just a little bit of a better value. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the second round, and we're going to see who's it recommending. So for the second round for us, it is recommending who's at the top of the list. Well, Nick Chubb is a long shot to make, but we already got him, right? But we got Galladay, Godwin, and Chris Carson as our top 3 for this round. So let's go ahead and get those guys queued up. So we'll go and do wide receivers. And we've got, actually, I've already got Godwin, Galladay. Galladay, let's queue him up. Let's go ahead and you can see here Chris Carson, Leonard Fournette. Let's get those guys queued up. Running backs. So where's Chris Carson? And Leonard Fournette down there. And there's actually still some really good guys on the board here. That's interesting. So after we took Chubb, then it was Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill. Then George Kittle was taken at the end of the first round. Patrick Mahomes, Austin Eckler, Julio Jones was taken, so one of our long shots to make it to us. But you can see here, we've got Godwin. Jacobs is still on the board. I do not think I can pass on Josh Jacobs. That is an unbelievable steal at this point in the draft. So, woohoo, I've got my 2 running backs that I wanted from the beginning, so that's great. Let's now jump to the third round. And what you can do here is you can restore a player from a prior round. If we go down here and find Jacobs, there he is. We can click the undo button, and it restores him onto the board. And where does he score here? Josh Jacobs, 53 Vork points, very good score, 16th overall value. This was pick 18, so great, nice value pick, fair value. Let's go to the third round. Now, we could go running back. We could go robust running back here, as the council likes to call it. But you can see Chris Carson is a long shot. Le'Veon Bell, also a long shot. But it might be a good idea to switch and go wide receiver. You can see here we got Calvin Ridley. We got Cooper Kupp. Those are both being recommended here. David Johnson is being recommended if we wanted to go running back. I know we got Carson already queued. So let's put Bell and David Johnson on the queue. What's going on? And this is another important reason why you want to use the queue is this stuff. Technical issues, man. Let me just pause real quick and make sure I get back on. All right. So, but another reason to use the queue, man. If something, where's David Johnson? Where is he? There he is. Okay. So, again, with these interruptions, if it auto picks for you, you're going to hate it. You're going to hate yourself that happened. If you got guys in the queue, you know that you're going to get one of the guys you want. It will always choose that first. Let's also put up some wide receivers here. So Ridley and Kupp, we'll get those guys queued up. Let's see here. Where is Ridley? There is Kupp. And I'm going to take some other guys from... there's Woods. Oh, look at that. There's Woods and Sutton. So those are guys that I like, but those probably are on the 4th round of this list, I'm guessing. That's why we don't see him here. Oh, yeah, there's Sutton. Where's Woods? Let's see here. Because Woods is a guy that I'm always very interested in. Is he already off the list? Nope, he is not off the list yet. Where is he? Oh, there he is. He's right there. Oh, he's a long shot. Oh, that's interesting. Let's put Woods and Sutton on the list for sure, because I love both those guys. Woods very much. I have Woods ranked as a low end wide receiver 1 this season. He's my 10th overall, so he is a great pick, and I would probably pick him over all the rest of these wide receivers we've already queued up. You can see our pick is coming up here. We can also look at some other positions. So if we look at, let's say we want to look at tight ends. Okay, this is the round to take Mark Andrews. Quarterbacks. No quarterbacks go in this round, so we don't need to worry about that. So that's pretty nice. But one of the nice things that it does also is it helps you strategize that, okay, if I pass on, let's say I passed on a wide receiver here. I really, who's the best wide receiver I can get in the next round? I can just click on the 4 tab, and you can see DK Metcalf or Cortland Sutton are the guys that are most likely to be available on my next pick. So you can see, okay, is that all right? I mean, am I okay with skipping out on someone like Ridley or Woods if next round I can get DK Metcalf or Cortland Sutton? These are choices you're going to have to make in a draft. Let me just go ahead and put this back to all players. It's almost back to us now. Let's look at the draft results and see what's going on the draft board. So since our last pick, we got Kelsey, then Hopkins and Godwin went. Sanders and Jones, again, very late for Sanders. That's a great bargain. Galladay, Lamar Jackson, Allen Robinson, then James Conner, Chris Carson, Adam Thielen, Odell Beckham, Todd Gurley, Juju, Mark Andrews, Melvin Gordon, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Jonathan Taylor goes in the middle of the 3rd round here. Love the upside of Taylor, and had he made it to us, that would be a definite consideration as our 3rd running back. But I do like the fact that Fournette and Bell and David Johnson are all available. It is our pick, so for the 3rd overall pick, the highest ranked one would be Bell. Oh, although let's restore Fournette. Fournette is ahead of Bell. Let's take Fournette. All right. I hear you. Okay, so we got our 3 running backs. That's a great starting running back core. High volume running backs. I got the best core in the league right now, but we definitely need some wide receivers. So again, we're going to go to the 4th round, and we're going to see, of course, Metcalf and Sutton. We already got them queued up. Let's look at the rest of the wide receivers for this round. We've got Cooper Kupp, already got him. McLaurin and Allen. See, those guys, I like to have guys score at least 40 Vork points. McLaurin's right on the cusp. 39 Vork points, I'll add him to the list. But I really want all my players to have over 40. So let's go to wide receivers. And there is McLaurin. So you can see here Ridley, Woods. Woods is still on the board. Sutton, McLaurin. Woods is going to be my pick here if it makes it back. Oh, and it's almost back to our pick. So if we look here, after we took Fournette, well, let me just make my pick here. Love getting Woods in the 4th round. That is such a steal. Moore, Metcalf, then Hunt, then Kupp, Raheem Mostert, Le'Veon Bell, then Robert Wood. Then I took Robert Woods. So let's look at the 5th round. In the 5th round, it's saying Michael Gallup, Jarvis Landry. So we definitely should get ourselves our next wide receiver. And both these guys are 2s. Absolutely love that. So let's put Gallup and Landry on the queue. And let's see here. There's Gallup. There's Landry. And again, if you look at their value rank, Landry's value rank is 43rd. We're going to be at pick 67. We're going to be able to get a guy with like 2 rounds of value at this point in the draft. Michael Gallup also very highly rated, 52. He offers like 1 round of value. But both are outstanding choices for our wide receiver 2. Who else is on this board? Tyler Boyd. Okay, that's another one. He scores over 40, but the rest of the guys don't. Diggs, Hilton, Green, Marquise Brown all score less. So let's put Boyd on the queue as well. Where are you, Boyd? There you are. And let's look at the running backs. We'll look at our running backs here. Ronald Jones. I think we got him already on the queue, don't we? Oh, I guess we don't. Let's get Ronald Jones on there. There he is. And we can look at the other positions. So quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen. It says we're long shots for Watson and Murray, but Josh Allen would be a reach here. Tight ends, let's look. Evan Engram. Now, Engram is a guy that's interesting for me because it is a contract year for him, but he's dealing with an injury. That's a negative, but also he has low reliability. He's missed a lot of time. But on contract years, I got to tell you, man, I love players on contract years. They offer tremendous upside, and players are surprisingly durable. Oh, look, it doesn't matter. He's already gone. Oh, well, so it's a moot point anyway. What in the world? How is Darren Waller still here? Why? How do they have him ranked so low? This is the craziest. I haven't done anything on Yahoo yet, and this is actually one of the platforms that I use. I have 2 of my leagues on Yahoo, and they got some crazy stuff. That is nuts. There is no reason why he should be down that low. Let's put him on the queue because that is an unbelievable steal at this point. Let's see what's going on the draft results here. So after we took Woods, then McLaurin, Ridley, David Johnson, A.J. Brown, Tyler Lockett, David Montgomery come off. Then Marquise Brown, DJ Chark, DeAndre Swift, Dak Prescott, so another quarterback, 3rd quarterback just came off. Keenan Allen, Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz in the 5th is also great value. Ronald Jones, there's a guy I had queued up. He's one of my favorites. But things are looking good. Let's look at the overall board here and see who's still at the top of the list. So Courtland Sutton, he's not going to make it back to us. There's no way. I would love it if he did. We got some quarterbacks here. Wilson Murray. There's Tyler Higbee, the tight end. Cam Akers, rookie running back. That could be a high upside play. Devontae Parker, I don't really like. T.Y. Hilton, I don't really like. Singletary, I think, is a decent option. Deshaun Watson, obviously a high upside quarterback. It is also a contract year for Deshaun Watson as well. But let's see what's going on here for picks. So Sutton came off. So I got a lot of my guys that I like here: Jones, Sutton, Singletary. But if you look at our queue, still got 4 guys up on the queue, which is great. And I'm seriously thinking of taking Waller here because to get Waller in the 5th round is actually outstanding value. You got to take advantage of what the board gets you. And it's funny how the order of the players on the draft board really does kind of define the draft. And so you got to take advantage of it when things like that show up. I mean, if we restore Darren Waller to our list, 39 Vork points. So he's right on the cusp. But value at 79th, not great. A little bit overvalued. But as far as I'm concerned, that's actually really good. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take Waller. I'm going to bypass these guys just to secure, a top 5 tight end in the 5th round. Absolutely. That's where I call the 5th round the sweet spot for drafting a tight end, but I thought he would already be gone. Let's go and go to the 6th round now. So 6th round, who's it recommending? Matt Ryan. Okay, so we could take a quarterback. Phillip Lindsay, Jamison Crowder. Okay, so we've got some options here. Let's look at the wide receivers because we really do need another wide receiver. Gallup and Boyd are long shots to make it back to us. Crowder's a reach, but we also have, and everyone else is below 40. Even Crowder's below 40, but he's pretty close. So let's go ahead. We'll put Crowder up on our list here. So we'll go wide receivers. Where's Crowder? There he is. But you see, we still got all these guys are up on the board. That is amazing. That is unbelievable that they are still here. Let's also look at the running backs. Of course, we got Lindsey, Marlon Mack, who's a reach, Matt Breida. None of these guys score really well except for Lindsey. So let's put Lindsey on the queue. Phillip Lindsay. All right. And let's see. Anybody else? Let's look. We already got our tight end. Excuse me. All right. Quarterbacks, right? We were looking at Matt Ryan. Let's look at the quarterbacks because really only a few quarterbacks have come off. Oh, it looks like there was a run. So, but Josh Allen is still on the board. Stafford's still on the board. Stafford's like a next round kind of guy. But if we restore, where Josh Allen's right there, only scores 25 Vork points on this round. I don't like that. But let's go back to draft results. Let's see what's going on here. So after we went, was Higbee, Matt Ryan went, T.Y. Hilton, Michael Gallup, Matt Breida, Jordan Howard, back to us. Jarvis Landry still on the board. That is unbelievable. This guy is a top 50 value play. That's unbelievable that we got him here at this late. With a 14-team league, we are at right now pick number 74. And Jarvis Landry at this point, let's see here. Where are you? Jarvis Landry scores 87 Vork points on this round. Value rank 43. So we got at least 2 rounds of value out of that pick. That was outstanding. So let's go to the 7th round. 7th round, who's it recommending? So 7th round, we got Sterling Shepard, Christian Kirk, Matthew Stafford. So we already put Stafford on the queue, but let's definitely get Shepard and Kirk up there because I think those are both really good choices. We'll go to wide receivers and Sterling Shepard. And let's see here. Kirk. That's right, Kirk. Where are you? There you are. Oh, Kirk's way down on this listing. That's actually a really nice spot for Kirk. I got to say, man, I normally wouldn't consider him, but shoot, that is really good. Let's look at the running backs. Kerryon Johnson, Marlon Mack is a long shot here, but let's put them on Kerryon Johnson and Marlon Mack. Running backs. There's Marlon Mack. There's Kerryon Johnson. Oh, he's much lower than I thought he would be too. So that's pretty good. Look at all the players. Look, Tyler Boyd still on the board. That is amazing. I mean, shoot, that is so good. Let's look at the draft results here. See what's going on. So since we took Landry, Hunter Henry, Stephon Diggs, J.K. Dobbins, Jared Cook, James White, Tyler Boyd just came off. Finally, that is a unbelievable steal at that point in the draft. And but look, we still got Crowder, Lindsey, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, Sterling Shepard. We have how many quarterbacks have been taken now? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Josh Allen just came off the board. So I always like to be like the last person to take a quarterback when I'm doing these kind of leagues, just because the value difference, once you get outside the top 2-3 guys, the value difference between the number 4 guy and the number 14 guy is probably going to be about 2 or 3 points a week. It's not that much. And so that's an easy thing that you want to wait on that value as long as you can. And I am certainly comfortable. If we miss Stafford, I could totally go with Daniel Jones for my quarterback because I'm super comfortable with that. So let's see here. So after Tyler Boyd, then Tevin Coleman, Josh Allen, Drew Brees came off, Will Fuller. We probably will have to take our quarterback on this round just because of how many quarterbacks have come off now. So we'll see what happens. But although the only people that still need a quarterback before me is pick 5 and pick 9 and 10. Okay, so there's 3 guys that do still need quarterbacks that go before me. So we'll see if they do a run. If they don't, I might just wait until the next round to take a quarterback. But if we look at the list, let's look at the quarterback list. And heading into, where are we? We're in the 8th round now? Where are we? No, we're in the 7th round. Okay, so 7th round. Okay, so for quarterbacks, again, Stafford, this will be the time to take Stafford. If I miss on Stafford, again, I could take Rodgers or Daniel Jones with my next pick. I think I'm totally comfortable with waiting for Rodgers or Jones in this case. I want to build my depth. I want to get some of these other players that I have queued up. Let's see here. For running backs, we already got those guys. Wide receivers, already got those guys. Now, what about in this because this is a larger league, what about the idea of taking like a second tight end or a second quarterback? And I got to say, for a 14-team league with a 6-slot bench, I still wouldn't do it, man. You're going to be able to get decent options on the waiver wire. And when it comes to tight ends, what I say, a tight end 2 that you would hold on your bench is no more valuable than any guy you could just pick off the waiver wire with a good matchup. They're worth about the same. And essentially at that point, all the tight ends would be players that are going to get you 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, which means they have no value for fantasy unless they score a touchdown. So again, that's what happens. And look, all these tight ends coming off the board right now. But we're already set, man. We got Waller. I'm so happy we got Waller, man. That was just an amazing steal. I thought for sure he would go in the 4th round, but 5th round looks like a good round for tight ends, even in a 14-team league. So that was very interesting. Lindsey just came off. That's one of my favorites. But Crowder is still on the board. So I like the idea of going with Crowder as our wide receiver 3. And I think that's a great choice. Yeah, I think I'm very comfortable with that player as our 3rd wide receiver. And just to have Woods and Landry as my 1 and 2, that's great. Both these guys, high reliability players. They don't miss time. That is important in fantasy football. So let's go ahead. We'll take Crowder with this pick. And so what happened in the 7th round so far? A.J. Green came off, then Deontay Johnson, Evan Engram, Rob Gronkowski, Carson Wentz, Hayden Hurst, Phillip Lindsay, then Jonnu Smith, Tariq Cohen, Antonio Gibson. Then I took Jameson Crowder. Matthew Stafford did come off. So we'll definitely take our quarterback next. So let's go to quarterbacks. And again, there's Brady, there's Rodgers, there's Daniel Jones. I think all those guys are good choices. I love the upside of Daniel Jones this year, although he does have a really tough schedule to start the season. But, Brady and Rodgers, they're still legendary, man. They're maybe not what they used to be, 5-10 years ago, but they're still darn good. And Brady I think that would be a great pick to go in this round, just because that offense is going to be something else, man. I'm so excited to see what happens with that offense. Let's go to all players. So it's almost our pick now. So let's see here. Let's see what's been going on in the interim. So after Crowder, then Stafford, then Marvin Jones came off. I do like Marvin Jones, actually. Marlon Mack, that was another one we had queued up. San Francisco defense comes off in the 8th round. So again, any guy that's gone to auto pick, you can see the auto picks over here. Now they're going to start to take defenses. And the good news for us is because we're not doing that, we can still keep picking up players. And when they're taking defenses, they're keeping offensive players on the field. So we will go ahead and it's almost back to us now. So let's go ahead and let's take Brady, man. Just go for it. I love what that offense is, and as long as he's better than a game manager, I think that's a great choice. So let's go back. So now we're going to go to the 9th round. Almost done with this draft. Let's see. So we're heading into we'll head into the 9th round. So in the 9th round, recommending Jared Goff. Well, we already have our quarterback, Jonnu Smith, if we wanted to go on a tight end too. That actually would be that's not a bad choice, actually, to tell you the truth. Who else do we have? Let's look at running backs and wide receivers. So running backs, Duke Johnson, Chase Edmonds, Let's see here. Wide receivers, Anthony Miller. Yeah, I'm not really interested in anybody in round 9 here. We could go Jonnu Smith. I don't really want to take a second tight end. Of course, if any of our other players make it to this round, that would be key. So if we look at any running backs, Kerryon Johnson, there's Sterling Shepard, Jamison Crowder we already got, Christian Kirk, Deontay Johnson's already gone, Debo doesn't score well. Okay, so we're looking good. See, look, here's all the auto picks. All the auto picks are taking defenses. This is as predictable as the sunrise and the sunset when it comes to this this algorithm. They haven't updated the algorithm in 10 years. I swear to God, it's the same as it's been. After our pick, so who came off? Latavius Murray, Julian Edelman, Alexander Mattison, the Steelers, the Bills, Duke Johnson, Ben Roethlisberger, the Chicago defense, Justin Tucker, a kicker now is coming off. So this is what's going to happen on the next round. It's going to be a bunch of kickers to all these auto picks. And Aaron Rodgers just came off at the end of the 8th round. And you can see we still have Shepard, Kirk, Kerryon Johnson, and Daniel Jones on the queue. And it looks like it's looking pretty good that someone's going to make it back to us, because again, this is not a great round for players on the app. There's just not a lot of options. But what else you can do is, if you don't like any of the players on the round, I say just go to the next round and start queuing up those guys. So let's look at the 10th round, since we're going to go through it anyway. Let's look at running backs first. No one here really good. Peterson, Keyshawn Bond, Damian Harris, Tony Pollard. We're past pick 100. We haven't taken any additional running backs at this time. Damian Harris is not a bad choice right now. I kind of like the buzz he's getting, even though, he's like a total flyer pick. Let's see here. Who else? Let's just see who's on the board here. Actually, I want to take a look at that, because again, there's always differences. So look, Darrell Henderson's still on the board. Boston Scott, that's a guy I like. There's Damian Harris. There's Chase Edmonds. We saw him too. I think those guys are all good choices. I might take a chance on Damian Harris, but I do really like Boston Scott. Oh, it's almost back to our pick. Okay, let's look at the wide receivers that are still on the board. Slayton. That's not, Mike Williams is injured. Some rookies. All right, so I think we need to take another running back, because we haven't taken one yet. I'm going to go for the high upside play that somehow Damian Harris becomes the lead running back on this team this year. He kind of burned me last year. He was one of my breakouts for last year. Didn't happen, but I got to say, he is getting tons of positive buzz, and Sony Michel is not playing right now. He is on PUP, and I'm guessing he's going to start the season on PUP. So we'll go with the high upside play. And if Boston makes it back to us, I would take Boston Scott with our next pick. Let's look at what's going on here. So this round, starting in the 9th round, would be Zach Moss, then the Kansas City Chiefs, Harrison Butker, New Orleans Saints, John Brown, Will Lutz, Greg Zerling, Kerryon Johnson, Daniel Jones, Chase Edmonds, then we took Damian Harris, then Robbie Gould, then Minnesota. See, this is what happens with the auto picks. All these kickers and defenses are getting taken, and these guys are staying on the board. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. That's why you just got to take these mocks with a grain of salt on Yahoo. It's just almost too easy. Darrell Henderson came off. Let's definitely get Boston Scott with our 10th pick, and that is a nice lineup. I mean, let's review. So, it's almost back to us. We'll take. Go ahead and take Scott. I doubt he's going to get taken here. There we go. We'll go ahead and take Boston Scott. Oh, man. I love this team. Look at the bruisers we got up front, man. Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, Leonard Fournette. That is awesome. Each of those guys, 300 touches and targets each. Wide receivers, Robert Woods, Jarvis Landry, and Jamison Crowder. Again, rock solid 1 and 2. I love that. Darren Waller as the tight end is great. Tom Brady is our quarterback. Totally in on that. Then Damian Harris and Boston Scott as our backup running backs. Certainly both have huge upside, especially if injuries happen to other players on those teams. So super happy with that. But I hope you can see the value here. Let me just come back. I'm gonna show you the analysis on the app to show you what we. All right, so here's the team, and I got to say, I love this team. I think it's super, super strong. Let's just review real quick. So, Jacobs, Chubb, Fournette, Scott, and Harris are our running backs. Our wide receivers are Woods, Landry, and Crowder. Our tight end is Waller. Our quarterback is Brady. And as far as the outlook goes, great ratings almost across the board. I am taking a chance. Damian Harris is a total shot in the dark, and Tom Brady is, again, a high upside play, but there is risk there associated with his age and the fact that he's on a new team. But let's look at the reliability of this team. Everybody is high or medium reliability. That's great. No low reliability players. Let's look at consistency ratings. Consistency, I've got everybody except for Boston Scott scores over a 5 out of 10 on consistency. And that means you can trust those players on a week-to-week basis. These 10s, 9s, 8s, and 7s, these guys are rock solid week in, week out. They're going to get the production. So I love that. Damian Harris did not get enough. I mean, he barely touched the ball last season, but he didn't get enough to get a rating there. But let's look at the value rankings we got on these players. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players with top 50 value in a 14-team a 14-team mock. That's crazy. We got contract year players: Nick Chubb, Leonard Fournette, and Boston Scott, all on a contract year. We've got Robert Woods on a bounce back for his touchdown total, upward trend in his usage as well. Jarvis Landry does have a negative there, a downward trend in his usage. Brady's got the new contract hangover. So some small negatives there, but overall, this is a great start to this team. This team is really, really nice. And, we have 5 more rounds. I would probably obviously get another 2 wide receivers. Hopefully get someone like Curtis Samuel or maybe even, it's probably too late for Preston Williams. I'm sure he's already gone. But, like I said, this is the kind of team that I want to draft. And so I invite you to go to my website, fantasyfootballmaverick.com. You can check out the app there. It's a web-based app. It's available exclusively through my website. So you can try it out. See if you like it, and if you do, you can subscribe. It's only $19.95 to unlock all the features of the app and utilize it in as many drafts as you are in this year. It's absolutely going to help you on draft day, making the right decisions, finding the right players. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Have yourself a great day, everybody.